I'm Yvonne Swader of the Interactive Realities group. We studied virtual learning environments, and the purpose of the study was to analyze the ways in which participants are affected by anxiety, whether or not they're affected more, they're anxious more in a virtual setting or in a typical classroom setting. We looked at the lack of a presence of avatar versus the presence of self-similar avatar. And we wanted to study the ways that anxiety was overcome through the use of an avatar, the motivation that we had, and the learning outcomes.
The research questions that we included in our experiment were: how does practicing a foreign language with a self-similar avatar impact foreign language anxiety? Another question was: how does practicing a foreign language with a self-similar avatar impact intrinsic motivation? And our third question was: how does practicing a foreign language with a self-similar avatar impact learning outcomes? We ended up hypothesizing that practicing with a self-similar avatar will reduce foreign language anxiety. We also thought that it would increase intrinsic motivation as well as increase the retention of information.
I'm Jennifer Levanchi, and I will be talking to you about our experiment methodology and the anticipated trajectory of our experiment. So we really took our time to explore the research space and design our experiment. Our study is a within subject mixed methods experimental design that's using quantitative data based on 2 questionnaires. And the questionnaires are the Foreign Language Classroom Anxiety Scale and the Intrinsic Motivation Inventory. And they've been modified to talk about this learning experience with avatars rather than a classroom. And then there's a qualitative piece as well with a few open-ended questions like how much control do you prefer to have when personalizing your avatar? Which session did you prefer? Things like that to tease out the details on their perceptions of how successful the experiment, the study design, the sessions were within that. Because we took our time with this, we are just now collecting participant data. We anticipate beginning to send out the sessions at the end of August and collecting data through the fall with the idea to plan a submission for the IEEE Virtual Reality Conference in the fall semester. So the participants, once they have received a flyer with information about the study, provided their preferred email for contact and a full face picture to create a self-similar avatar, and you can see an example here, they will receive 3 sessions. 1 session will have no avatar. 1 session will have an avatar based on my appearance and voice, so the generic avatar, so to speak. And then the third will be an avatar based on the picture that they submitted to us. And then each of those will be assigned randomly to 1 of 3 lessons with the concepts of numbers, colors, and shapes in Spanish. And it's very brief. There's no AI involved. It's simply the participant hearing the item mentioned that's shown on the screen, then repeating it and practicing, and then a short quiz at the end to test their knowledge. Following each session, they will receive the studies I just mentioned. So the combined study of the Foreign Language Classroom Anxiety Scale, modified for this to talk about the learning practice session, and the intrinsic motivation. And they will tell which session they have just completed and their feelings on that with the questionnaire. And once they have completed all 3 sessions and all 3 questionnaires, they will then complete the qualitative portion with the open-ended questions, as well as a quiz to ascertain, for those who have no experience with Spanish, as listed in the demographic information, what their retention was. So really, how were the learning outcomes affected?